Anthology horror shows have basically been around since the dawn of television. An anthology TV series is a series that presents a different story and a different set of characters in each episode. You definitely know the big ones: The Twilight Zone, Black Mirror, Goosebumps, and Tales from the Crypt. But there is one that is often forgotten and remains an underrated gem. Today I'm going to talk about Tales from the Darkside. For this video, I'm only going to be talking about the origins of the series, so the next video will be about the TV series, and then the next video will be about the movie. Alright, disclaimer over. On October 29th, 1983, the pilot episode of Tales from the Darkside, titled Trick or Treat, first aired on TV screens. But the story of the series starts way before that, so let's go back to the 1940s and start this from the actual beginning. In 1944, American publisher Maxwell Gaines established Educational Comics, or EC for short. The comic company specialized in educational and child-oriented stories. Unfortunately, not long after the company's inception, Maxwell died in a boating accident in August of 1947, leaving EC to his son, Bill Gaines. Bill decided to breathe some new life into the company and added a line of new titles featuring science fiction, crime fiction, and horror. And although they had great success with all of their genres, if you know anything about comics, you know that EC Horror is what the company is most known for. Well, that and Mad Magazine. But when you hear EC, you probably think horror, right? You hear about EC a lot, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? I don't think this bit is landing. Okay. Series like Tales from the Crypt, The Vault of Horror, and The Haunt of Fear were EC's most notorious books. Each book was hosted by a horror entity. The Crypt Keeper, the Vault Keeper, and the Old Witch introduced each story similar to Rod Serling on The Twilight Zone. In 1982, the film Creepshow was released.
You'll scream at ghastly ghouls, cringe at weird kids.
Creepshow was openly inspired by EC's horror comics, with original scripts written by Stephen King and George A. Romero. Consisting of 5 segments and a 6th segment acting as the wraparound story, Creepshow was a success critically and financially. Tales from the Darkside started off as a television spin-off to Creepshow, but due to certain rights including the name Creepshow, the title was changed. I would say that the show became a spiritual spin-off rather than just a standard spin-off. All elements and ties to Creepshow were removed before hitting the air.
There is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
On October 29th, 1983, the Tales from the Darkside pilot episode aired on CBS. The pilot episode was directed by Bob Balaban and written by George A. Romero, who you may remember from 7 Sentences ago. The premiere, titled Trick or Treat, stars Bernard Hughes as Gideon Hackles. Gideon is a rich and spiteful old man who is obsessed with documenting and exploiting debts owed to him. He annually offers trick-or-treaters the chance to search his house on Halloween night for their parents' IOUs, only to terrify them with animatronic ghosts. Over the course of the night, Mr. Hackles finds himself terrified by monsters, demons, and a real witch who gives Hackles the fright he deserves. This is a great premiere. You get the horror and black comedy that this series would go on to be known for, but its timing was a little strange. It aired as a sort of Halloween special and not as a pilot. I couldn't find the reasons why for this, but I'm going to assume it was just to gauge interest. The next episode wouldn't air for nearly another year. So on September 30th, 1984, Tales from the Darkside began. Again. In part 2, we will discuss the series itself, and in part 3, we will talk about Tales from the Darkside, the movie. I'm going to do my best to get all of these out before Halloween, but unfortunately Toyotathon took over the last month of my life, and no, I'm not going to elaborate on that one. See you next time. Watch the show. See if you can find it anywhere. I have the DVD box set, but you should watch some episodes before I talk about them, because you know what? It's a good show, and it's the perfect time of year to watch them. And that's it. Okay, like and subscribe. Oh, and also, if this video doesn't do well, I'm going to take forever to do part 2 because I live off views, unfortunately. Thank you for listening to this ramble. I didn't really plan on making this channel a horror channel, but I mean, it's starting to look that way. And this video is not gonna help that. Okay,